Okay, good. Don't worry about being fast. Just try to get the answer right. So from right to left, you're looking at his left subtalar joint. Oh, okay. A lot of people put right lateral ankle rotation. Let's see. So when I was doing this, right to left, the way I look at it, looking at his left subtalar. Yeah, so we're looking right. You can see my cursor. Okay, wow, it looks kind of bad on the.
We went left to right.
I didn't realize how bad it looks on here, but you can still kind of see it. So it's E version because he's starting out with his ankle in, so it's his ankle's in and he's coming up. So that's kind of a. I'm trying to be tricky. I'm trying to do harder examples, but his ankle, his medial foot. If you want to do like by landmarks, his medial part of his foot is closer to the medial part of his shin, and then here it's getting further away. So it's E version, and the subtalar, you can't do plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, so it's got to be inversion or eversion.
Yeah. I was from left to right.
Yeah,
Kenzie,
good job. Good job. All right, it's the same picture, I'm pretty sure. But this time, right ankle. It did have like, it said up to 10 people. I don't know if there's more than 10 people, so if you can't join, just pretend to play. Plantar flexion. So right to left, and you're looking at his right ankle. So that should knock off eversion, inversion. Ankle can only plantar flex, dorsiflex. Ankle flexions, yeah, I was kind of trying to be tricky with that. There is no ankle flexion. It's either plantar or dorsiflexion. And from right to left, if you want to use landmarks, you could say like the top of the foot to the shin is closer here. It's getting further away. It's just hard to see because the bigger piece, his body, is moving about the smaller piece, which is his foot. But if this was a normal, like how it would look actually, so it's plantar flexion, so it's starting like this, and it would be going like this. That was one of the harder ones when I was taking the class, like seeing how a squat coming up from a squat is actually plantar flexion, because you're used to it just with like, oh, my toes go down when I push down, but it's also whenever you're coming up from a squat, because you're getting into the same position. You're getting from dorsiflexion to anatomical, so you have to have plantar flexion. If any of you guys have a question, just let me know. I'm just gonna keep going. So is it true or false? And I gave like a minute and 30 for each. Good, because that's how much time you have on the exam. I don't even have to explain it, but just for the video. Ankle extension, that's not a thing. Ankles can't extend, it's plantar flexion or dorsiflexion for the ankle. Another true or false? That's true. So that's whenever he's, you know, how he says in class, it'd be a bad day if something like that happened. That's because it can only happen whenever you flex your knee. That can look like, you know, this, where you do a little golf. I do a little golf tee like that, or it could be like this. Either way, my knee is still flexed. Because if you have your knee straight when you do it, that's hip rotation. But when you flex your knee, that becomes, you can have knee rotation. That's internal external rotation of the knee. All right. This is a great picture. I wish it wasn't so bright. Take it one hip at a time. This is probably one of the hardest questions, so good. Okay. So it's really hard to see how the left hip is externally rotated. But if you remember, if you plant the flagpole like right here on the femur, and he came back up to his starting position, if he froze everything and came back up, he would be here. So let's see, he's down on his right knee, and he's like this, and he's going like this. So if you planted your flagpole and then you came back up, you see that it's external rotation. And then the abduction is right, you know, when your body's going straight and then your hip is going out. So the more he leans to the right, the more abducted he is. Oh, good job. Yeah, this is the one where you can either use a water bucket or the basketball. So if you did the water bucket, which side is the water pouring out of? It's his right side, so that's right. He's right laterally rotated. And then if you saw the basketball, you could see that he rotated the basketball. Like which way would it bounce? It would go to his right. Good job. Top to bottom. glitch. Okay, good. So from top to bottom, first thing you can kind of see is the trunk is transversely rotating. If it was laterally rotating, it would be bending side to side. There is no lateral rotation, it's bending, so he would use that verbiage. And then if you couldn't see left or right, I always look at the sternum. So which way is the sternum looking at? It's looking at her left hip. So she's looking at her right hip here. You draw a line down her sternum to her hip, then left, see it's going to her left hip. It might not let you join the Kahoot. I don't know. It said up to 10 people.
Okay.
Don't really know. It didn't do that before, but it did today. So left to right, shoulder motion. Just checking, is someone still answering? Adduction, so shoulder motion from left, so extension. Yeah, that was my fault. I should have said frontal. You guys were right, it was also extension. Good job. Sorry to the people in red who are not going to get points, but just know that you're right as well. I didn't classify frontal or sagittal.
So it can be both.
Yeah, he wouldn't ask a question like this. He would say frontal or sagittal.
Okay.
But can y'all see how it's frontal, and can you also see how it's sagittal? Frontal as in his arms are up here, and just look at the humerus. So that's what I was trying to get at, because it can be tricky if his arms or the radius and all that are still upwards, but you're just looking at the humerus, so how it's up and then it's coming down. So that's why it was adduction, but it's also extension. So because sagittally, it's coming down.
You want me to close the door?
Yeah, if you want. If it's So what motion can occur at the wrist joint? It's okay, we have background music. On the deviation, because remember, he will most likely ask this. So the wrist does not twist. He won't ask that, but he's gonna ask some type of something, and he's gonna put wrist pronation, wrist supination. The wrist does not twist. The wrist can only deviate, radial deviate, or flex and extend. The pronation, supination happens at the radial ulnar joint. What is the position of the radial ulnar joint?
Which one?
Both of them, they're the same. They're the same in both pictures, so it's just what is the position? Oops, sorry. Semi-pronated. See, I put this because semi-supinated could easily be an answer choice he throws in to trick you up. Because if you're starting from anatomical, you're as supinated as you can possibly be. So anything from that is pronation. So that's why it'd be semi-pronated instead of semi-supinated. Yep. I don't know. It said up to 10. And
You just put in the pin.
there's a here. Can you see the pin, or maybe there's a QR code I can pull up. No, okay, but there's a pin at the bottom. If you can't see it,
5887815.
yeah. There's only a few more questions left, and then we can get into more specific ones if you guys still have questions. From left to right, what motion is occurring at the radial on the joint? This is also one of the hardest ones, I think. For me, at least. Good. Supination. So I remember when I was taking this, I just had to memorize, like, okay, when it's going up, it's supination, when it's down, it's pronation, but now I can see it. I just use a thumb rule. Like, anytime it's radial, I just use a thumb rule, and if you still have trouble seeing it, so you can see it in the left picture, it's medial. If you drew a line up from her thumb up to her elbow, it'd be on the inside of her elbow. If you did it in this position, you see it's on the outside of her elbow now. So there has to be, so if it's going from medial to lateral, it has to be supination. Can y'all see that? How it's going from the outside? It's kind of hard because the lights are off. Yeah, they can't see, okay. But if you're going, it's medial here, and then if you go up, can you turn the lights on real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So it's medial here, it's on the inside of my elbow, and as I'm going up, if I stopped here, you can now, if I ran my fingers, it's on the outside of my elbow. It's on the outside of it. This is the lateral side of my elbow. It just doesn't look like that because you can't really see the movement, but this is on the inside, and then as it's coming up, if I followed my thumb, now it's on the lateral side. So it's starting here, and then it's doing this, where your thumb is ending up lateral. So if it's like test day and you still just cannot see it, you can't see the thumb rule, then you might have to just memorize it. But that's, now that I like really just use the thumb rule and trace the thumb up, and you have to trace it to the right spot. Because I would always try to trace it, and I would still end up medial, but you have to actually follow it, and then you see this is the lateral part of my elbow. Scapula, looking at the scapula. So she's raising her hand as high as she can. She's trying to go as high as possible. So you guys who put red and yellow, y'all were right, but it's just both of them together because it's up. Anytime your arm is going up, it's upward. Your scapula is upwardly rotating, but she's reaching as high as possible, so that's elevated. So she's doing that, so the scapula is elevating after. All right, this is the last one. What shoulder rotation would go with shoulder abduction to get from left to right? That was a fast answer. External rotation. The quick way you could have gotten that is none of these are shoulder movement, or none of these are shoulder rotations besides external rotation. The scapula is responsible for each of these movements. So what shoulder rotation would go with it? This is when he did the Ken doll and the face to the suction cup, and as it goes up, it's actually externally rotating, so the Ken doll's face is lined back up so it can keep going up the road, like it's extending its range of motion. That's how that's happening. Upward rotation would be scapula.
It's externally rotating even if his hand doesn't move.
Yeah. Last one. Doesn't. You're not gonna get any points for this one, so. Wow. Okay. A lot of people think you're getting A's. Okay. Good. Nick, Gavin, and Seebling. All right. Let's see. Which ones are the hardest? Oh, this was the beginning one. Not a lot of people were here, but let's see if I can. No, I don't think you can make it bigger, but from right to left, and you can see. Yeah, you can't really see that at all, but let me see. I'm just gonna do this real quick, just so you could see it from the beginning. I'm just gonna start it. Oops! Wow, I kept everyone. You're not gonna be able to answer. I'm gonna skip it. Okay, so from right to left, we're looking at the left subtalar joint. So that should eliminate in your head plantar flexion, dorsiflexion. You should be thinking inversion, eversion. And then from right to left, if you want to do landmarks, you can do medial foot, medial shin. You can see it's getting further away. So that would be eversion. Yeah. I'm just going to go over the first one since a lot more people came in. But anything else that you guys have questions on? I'm going to open it up to you guys. It's really dependent on what y'all want to do. If y'all want to make this if y'all have any specific questions, if y'all want to stay and study, if y'all have any, I'll send this out. I'll send everything out. But if y'all have any questions, this is where you can ask them. This is just I just listed each of the joint motions. I'm just going to go through it. If you see anything that you have a question about and it reminds you.
I have a question. For the pull-up, you have abduction. Can you explain that?
Yeah. Let me just look at pull-up. Let's see. Perfect. So I'm going to do exactly what he does. And let's see. Copy and paste it on the paint. I copied it. Okay. All right, ignore all the words. But so for shoulder ab and adduction, or yeah, mainly for shoulder ab and adduction, mainly just focus on the humerus. So don't look at the forearm, don't look at any of the hand. You're just looking at the humerus. So it's starting pretty much fully abducted, and then the humor, like it's all the way up, if that's how you want to say it, think about it. And then here you can see it's a little bit of abduction happens, or you could say extension, because I didn't clarify frontal or sagittal. Did that help? Like this is what I can actually paint on this.
So what you mean by look at the humerus?
So here, this is where I'm looking.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting pointing up, so it's abducted, and then you can see it's coming down. So if he unbent his elbows, he would be like this, and then he would go like this. The illusion is that his elbows are bent, so it's like, oh wait, let me do it in front of the camera. So he's starting here, and then he's going like this. So don't look at the elbows. If extend, you're looking at it joint by joint. That's what he always says. Look at it, take it joint by joint. So you're just looking at the elbow. You're just looking at the shoulder. So stop, don't look at the elbow, extend the elbow, and what's happening? His arms starting up top and they're ending closer to here. So that's abduction or adduction. Does that help? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I had one more. This is there's so many things happening in this picture, so this is a pretty good picture. I'm gonna put it in paint. Where's the cursor? Do y'all know how to use this? I don't ever use paint.
I'm trying to turn off one of the lights to like see the wood better.
Yeah. While I figure this out.
Is it right click?
Okay.
Maybe I'm just not copying it. That's how we'll do it. Please. Okay, well, y'all can see it. I'll just zoom it in. Can y'all see that? Yeah. So let's take it joint by joint. Let's look at her neck for cervical first, because I didn't have any questions about the cervical. So take a few seconds. Are we looking at sagittal, frontal, or transverse? Transverse, yes. And so transverse, I always think, where is her chin relative to her shoulders? I'd say, so imagine laying on my back. Her chin is looking at her left shoulder, so that's left transverse rotation. And then let's see, let's go down. So shoulders abducted because they're not down by her side, or let's not worry about that because I'd have to ask frontal or sagittal. Let's look at the trunk. So I always look at the sternum first, draw a straight line down. So what do y'all think that is? Left transverse, yeah. Her sternum's looking at her left hip. And then pelvic girdle rotation. Why is it left transverse trunk rotation? Because right transverse pelvic girdle rotation. Her pelvic girdle is twisted to the right. And then her hips. Her left hip is flexed, her right hip is extended. And then knees, same thing. Left hip or left knee flexed, right knee extended, and I'd say she's plantar flexed.
So that's not internal or external rotation.
I don't know if that's pretty advanced. It's internal external rotation of the hip.
I guess not just on her side.
Yeah, I don't really know. That's like a more of an advanced question. I don't think he would ask that. I don't know if he would even ask this, but this is just a practice for like a lot of different joints. I saw it and I was like, oh, let me add this. Any other, y'all want more pelvic girdle problems? Y'all want like hip?
Could you do like, cause you know how he's like like kneeling on one knee. It could be abduction with like internal rotation or something.
Like, I think there was one like that in the Kahoot.
Yeah, like yeah.
You want to see that one again? Is that here? I'll just I'll just do this like this.
Yeah.
Let's see if that'll work. Yeah. So this one is really hard. You want me to explain, or you just want to try and solve it yourself first?
I mean, I kind of know what's going on, but like on your Unit 2 lower extremity practice, there he like rotates his trunk instead.
Oh yeah, okay. Let me pull that up.
Horizontal.
What is that on again? Is that Word or is it? Oh, I can just go to Moodle. Oh, it's gonna make me sign in. I wonder if I can go on Outlook and see it. Y'all are gonna see all my emails. Is it lower extremity?
Yeah.
Let's see. There we go. Like this one right in the front?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one, you have to, so do you understand, which part are you getting stuck on? Do you want me just to
like, I understand it, but like, say he does like, because he rotates to the right, he like rotated his trunk to the left. That like.
I don't know, because he's never done an example like that, so I don't think he would spring a new example, especially. But if he did rotate to the left, it would be. I think it would be kind of the same. It would be external rotation for the right hip, and then that's pretty tricky for the left hip. I don't think he would ask something like that with the knee bent, him being on the ground like that. But it's almost similar to the question where it's like this, how this is internal, this is external. Like you can kind of think of it like that. But in this position, so from start to finish, this is his right hip is internal, his left hip would be horizontal abduction. Y'all see that? Okay. Good. But yeah, I don't think he would ask questions, because there's other questions where he could ask where it'd be like easier to see the obvious, like the rotation there.
If it was the other way, would it just be opposite?
Yeah,
Like, look at it from finish to start.
His right hip would be opposite, so it would be, this is like normally in this question it would be internal rotation, but if he turned to the left, it would be external rotation of the right hip, and then I'm trying to think, I don't know what it would be for the left hip. Yeah, I think it would be a horizontal adduction. Yeah. I don't know.
You just look from finish to start.
Yeah.
You said add or add?
If it was add, so it'd be, if we went from finish to start, it would be add. I was thinking like if we started and then went to the left, so if we were going to start, but I think it would still be the same. Yeah, because the trunk is rotating to the left and it's doing the same from finish to start. So yeah, it'd be left hip add. If anyone didn't sign this, y'all can sign it before you leave. Are we all good? Y'all want to do any more practice?
I just have one more question. Whenever, no matter how you're pronated or supinated, it's still going to be the same ulnar and
yes,
yeah, because it's twisting with it.
Pinky is always ulnar side. So if I'm like this is still ulnar deep. Like no matter what, pinky always goes with the ulna, and then thumb always with the radius, no matter what. Like with pelvic girdle rotation or like internal external rotation. So what I do for the hip internal external rotation, I always plant the flagpole like mid femur, and so this is external, internal, external, internal, and so it gets tricky when you do like this, but that's how I think about it. Plant it, and which way is this one turning, this one's going this way, so, or actually it's going this way. They're both going the same way. So they both point the same way. So right, external, left, internal. That's how I view it. So it'd be like this. That's how I always like envisioned it, whichever way you're rotating. So your femurs are pointing the opposite way, whichever way you're rotating. And so whichever way your thumbs are pointing, this is external and this is internal.
Mm-hmm. So when would it be like, you know when we normally think of internal and external, when would it like not be a trick thing that we have to think about, if that makes sense?
Like you're talking about like this?
Yeah.
He would ask like someone sitting down and like just has their leg like this, and they'd be like, is this internal external rotation? Because some people might think follow the foot because that's what knee rotation is. So you think, oh, the foot's medial, so this is internal. But if you do the landmark with the flagpole, it's external. That's a big thing. For knee, you can follow the foot, but for hips, do not follow the foot. Like this is external, this is internal, but my foot is out. But for the knee, it's like I always do like the little golf tee thing, where if it's like this, that's external. If it's in, that's internal. But remember, your knee has to be flexed to do internal, external rotation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so like for this one, like this exam, do you know if you'll have like any questions like not retaining emotion, like on the last one he had like what humorous is this?
Yeah, it's all gonna be, because I think he has like 33 or 35 questions, and we went through so much. There's so many illusions. I don't think he would do like another. Even today in like 415, he said he doesn't do. I don't know the word he said, but it's like double dip or something like he doesn't. Especially on the same test, he's not going to ask 2 questions about inversion, or I don't want to say he won't, but he's more likely to diversify all of his questions to test you on the broader things, and especially on the things that we went over and over, like the practice questions over and over. Like, so I don't think he would ask, is this a right or left humerus? Like that, we're kind of past that. Like, hopefully people have that mastered.
So we wouldn't have to worry about like what joint would be in what classification basically for this.
So today in class he did say, someone asked and they said, do we have to know the classification? And he said, I don't know his exact answer, but he said you should, because he can definitely ask that. There's not 100%, like I don't want to say 100% no, but he can ask that, and it will help you if you do learn it. It will help you like future in your career, and just especially 415, like learning it now just kind of prepares you for everything, and like it becomes second nature. Like ball and socket, triaxial, like modified hinge joint, like you just kind of realize it with the motion. You start understanding it, so it's better to learn it now. If I really had to study and like I just started studying, I would not look at it. Like I would put all my eggs in just all of these motions, just focusing on the illusions and not falling for the illusions in all of these motions specifically. I wouldn't, but I don't want to encourage that. Hope you guys are studying already.
I remember him like going over a good bit, or he constantly said was that the hip was made of 4 different things. I remember him saying that a lot.
Yeah, it's fused.
Almost like he would ask that.
It's fused. It's like I don't know if he would ask, but it's fused. It's like the acetabulum.
Yeah, it's like the ilium ischium. Things like that. I just remember him saying that a lot. Like he would just, because I remember whenever we first learned about it, he constantly said it. I wrote it down somewhere.
It might.
I don't know.
It might
if
be in the
that,
yeah. It might be in the notes, but
it should be.
Because I know there's a picture of like the pelvic girdle and the hips, and it's like they're different colors. So he definitely can ask that. I don't want to be like, no, he's not going to ask that, but
yeah.
It's not the point of this unit.
Yes, the ilium, ischium, pubis, and femur.
Ilium, ischium, pubis, and femur.
I just remember him saying that a lot. Because he's like, people think it's 3, but it's 4, something like that.
I thought it was 3, but I guess he's including the femur.
He's including the femur.
So.